Metro on 101.9 WDET, Detroit Public Radio. I'm Kerry Jr. II. DeVito, Kaytranada, T. Grizzly. That's just a taste of some of the musicians that will be present at the AfroFuture Festival right here in Detroit. Live music is just one part of what you can expect during the two-day event. There'll be live podcasting, there's going to be art, even live chess. This selection of events makes up the diverse tapestry that is the African diaspora, and the AfroFuture Festival is the event through which we can experience all of it. The festival has been an annual event in Ghana, but this year, the AfroFuture Festival is launching in the United States, and Detroit is home to the first festival here. So I've got two guests with me now. I got Akosua Ayim. She is the Director of Operations for the AfroFuture Festival. And I'm also joined by Rohna Battle Woodger, who is the winner of the AfroFuture T-shirt design contest. Akosua, Rohna, welcome to the Metro.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Awesome. So Akosua, I'm going to start with you because you've been with the festival for a number of years. I believe it first began in 2019 in Ghana. Can you just kind of tell me how the idea for this festival started?
Yeah, for sure. So our first year was 2017 in Ghana. Our founders, we're Ghanaian and have been going back to Ghana for a long time. And over the years, we just kind of saw that there was a gap between people coming to Ghana, what they were experiencing. There's so much culture, music, fun, food, but there wasn't really one place to bring all of that together, and also just to welcome people home in kind of a one event space. So 2017 was the first edition of the festival. We planned for about 2,000 people. We ended up getting about 4,500 people. And a good number of those people had actually come in from the States and from other parts of North America. And so from then it grew. 2019 was a turning point for us. That's when Ghana launched its Year of Return initiative. And so that year we had about 16,000 people at the festival.
Whoa.
And that was, a year where Ghana was really intentionally and purposefully welcoming people back home and back to the continent. So we've been doing it since then. In our last iteration of the festival, we had about 40,000 people come over 2 days. And about 45% of our attendees do come from outside of the continent, specifically the North America area. So it's been a really amazing journey. I mean, the best part of it is just seeing people come to Ghana, for the first time or after their first taste, come back year after year and being able to watch us grow. And so we're excited to bring that same energy to Detroit.
You said 45% of the attendees at the festival come from North America. And that's always been the case since you started in 2017? A large,
It's
like
always
half?
been a large portion. Yeah. So one thing that we are really, really good at is, being ambassadors to Ghana, being ambassadors to home, and people knowing that they can come to the festival and just be around just Black opulence, Black excellence, be safe, have a great time. So it really is a homecoming, and we think of ourselves as a part of that bridge, right, of bringing people from all across the diaspora, which includes the continent in some context, together to learn from each other, grow together, and really to continue to tell our own stories and take control of those narratives by putting us all in the same space to, like I said, to learn from each other. That's a big part of what we're doing here.
It does sound like you all might be one of the first exposures people might have to Ghana, the country. I wonder, what responsibility do you all have in terms of what you put in and include in the festival?
Yeah, I mean, so the festival, obviously the music is an important part. We take a lot of pride in the talent that we're able to bring to the stages. But one of our taglines is that we're more than a festival, which Rohna will speak to in terms of the programming that we're doing, and we always do. But the festival feel itself is just a place for not just the music. There's art installations, there's fashion installations. Our sponsors who come and activate really want interactive experiences for people. There's a lot of different moments where you're not just seeing the festival, but you're truly experiencing the festival. You're becoming part of the festival. Whether that's by the kind of food that you're eating, whether it's, we're integrating more tech and AR, VR experiences into the festival. So, one thing that we take a lot of pride in is in Ghana, specifically, once the doors open, the field is full pretty quickly. People aren't just coming for the music, which obviously is a big part of it, but people are really coming because it's a full experience, it's a full immersion into the culture.
Now, does the title of the festival, AfroFuture, does that come from the idea of Afrofuturism?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of everything. So Afrofuture really speaks to, oddly enough, that the fact that our time is now and we're the ones who are building our future. And the Afro part of it really speaks to the diaspora. Our co-founders and our leadership team, our whole team strongly believes that we move forward better when we're together. So we're very big on collaboration. We're very big on listening, hearing people's perspectives, and then actioning those things in a way that works for everyone, to the best of our ability. But yeah, it definitely speaks to kind of where we are going as a diaspora, as a community, how we're evolving, and most importantly, how we're telling our stories.
Collaboration. I want to speak to that actually and bring Rohna in. But before I do, real quick, one more time, Akosua, can you just explain the collaboration you had with this design, this T-shirt design contest you all had, and the reason behind that contest, and the reason behind wanting to highlight local creators, artists like Rohna?
Yeah, so one major part of our festival, we don't like to come into a community, do an event, and leave, right? We really
Mm-hmm.
want to get to know the community. We want to hear the needs of the community, and do what we can to kind of uplift and amplify the people who have always been, making that city what it is. You know what I mean? So coming into Detroit, programming and these kind of initiatives were top of mind. And so we had the opportunity on one of our recce's to Detroit to visit PLC, which is an amazing institution, super inspiring, doing phenomenal work through design and other creative outlets. And so we started having a conversation, and our CEO and co-founder Abdul was like, it would be amazing to do a merch competition with your students, and let's have the final designs be sold on the field. So we're not just amplifying the creative, but we're also providing a revenue opportunity. And so that partnership is going to continue to grow. We've been able to bring in some great local sponsors on this initiative to help amplify what's happening. But that's just, Ron has been amazing, and everyone who submitted was super talented. So there'll be some surprises on the field. I won't ruin that, but we're just super excited to really be able to tap in on a real level with institutions like PLC, creatives on the ground, artists. Detroit is just so full of movement, and like in terms of kind of like even the black ownership in the city, like it just makes so much sense for us to be here. And we've been really warmly welcomed by the community and people who are movers and shakers. So it's been amazing to see.
I do want to speak to in a minute why you all decided to come to Detroit, but first I want to get to Rohna real quick. I want to hear, Rohna, your story real quick. But first, we'll talk about your design itself. It's called Rhythm Runs Through Us, correct?
Yes.
That's the design that won. Can you first describe what this design that'll be on the T-shirts that are branded AfroFuture for the festival? What does it look like?
So what it looks like is it's hands holding a globe, and it's specifically black hands holding a globe. And in the globe, I feature the continent of Africa highlighted with all of the different kente cloths that are popular and sourced in these different countries in Africa. So I highlight Ankara and a lot of other ones per country in Africa, just to show the whole diaspora and how we're connected. And then I feature some threads in the globe that connect the continent, specifically from Ghana going to like around the world, showing that that's the Afrofuturism aspect of the rhythm running through us. So the rhythm started at the motherland and it's going to Motown specifically. Oh. So then I also highlight some different areas that are popular and native to Detroit, such as Motown and the spirit of Detroit, the Joe Louis Fist, and everything, to just really help everyone see everything that's being connected from the movement that I speak of with the rhythm running through us. And then on the back of the T-shirt, I feature all of the artists' names, like the headliners, and as well as the host of the show and any other participants that are performing. And all of their names are on a vinyl record player, on a vinyl record. And that really pays homage to Motown. So I really wanted to connect the motherland to Motown and really just connect the whole diaspora as a whole, from the rhythm runs through us, through the movement, the love that we have for each other, the unity, the music, dance, just everything that makes us us.
What research did you perhaps do, or inspiration did you have to create this design?
So the inspiration that I had was just being from Detroit, so just knowing everything that makes us us, like putting the world on wheels and the music, the Motown, everything leading up to now, and then just doing that additional research to ensure that the connection that I knew that we had was accurate. And then I spoke with not only the team at AfroFuture throughout our meetings during the competition, because we met for about a month, a few times a week for a month, and then just really fact checking everything that I was looking up. So when I say like the kente cloth and just highlighting those different aspects that connect the motherland and Motown, just ensuring that everything was correct by having those conversations and going the extra mile to ensure that my research was correct.
I see. And did you learn anything new along the way while you were developing this design in terms of your own potential creative output, like your ability to, did you learn something new or discover something new about your own abilities?
Yes, I did. I really saw how my passion is really seen and felt when designing, because I know what I feel when I design it, and my whole aspect is really just showing my passion through the design by making sure everybody is included and all these different groups that make up the diaspora are really shown and they have a connection. So really receiving that feedback not only from PLC as well as the other students that I worked with, as well as the AfroFuture team, and people that have seen the T-shirt now, they kind of see something that they see something of themselves represented in the T-shirt design, and that's what was my whole passion and my whole drive in order to create the design. That was the whole foundation. So seeing that is being received is just like, it just it gives me like a grade, like, oh, I got an A+.
You had an idea, it came to fruition, and now you're realizing, that people are like, no, we understand. Like, you're communicating through this medium.
Yes.
And the message you were trying to send was received.
Yes.
No, I completely
understand.
Like,
wholeheartedly. And that was my goal, but it was the fact that I really didn't have to explain much. You can kind of see it. And then if there's any questions that are asked, like, I just clarify. And then they're like, oh, we see that right here. We see that thread that's woven through the design. And then something else that I really connected and showed on the front part of the design is the jewelry. So like the gold and the bling and everything, that's really prominent in Africa. And then we love our bling here in Detroit too. Absolutely. So I'm like, that's just something that a lot of people can relate to and they know is really prominent in both areas. Yeah. So
you're listening to The Metro on 101.9 WDET. We're discussing the AfroFuture Festival, which is making its U.S. debut right here in Detroit, August 16th through the 17th. I'm speaking with the Director of Operations for the festival, Akosua Ayim, and then I'm also speaking with the winner of the T-shirt design contest, Rohna Battle Woodger. Now, real quick, Akosua, I want to know about Detroit, the selection of Detroit as the first place in the U.S. Why here?
Yeah, I love this question. I think because a lot of us on the team are from New York, people assume that it would be New York for the first city. And New York is great. New York is also home. But when we were looking into kind of where to bring the festival for the first time to the U.S., there were a few things that we considered. One, just the history of the history of Detroit, which Rohna touched on beautifully, and the parallels that exist between Detroit and Accra. So when we talk about kind of being innovators in Black spaces, the foundation of music and how those foundations have impacted other genres of music, fashion, art, food. And there's a little bit of this kind of like, this quiet strength story that both cities have that I really like. So it made sense for us from that perspective, just in terms of kind of the look and feel of the festival, but then also partnership was very important. And that's where Bedrock comes in. So we are partnering with Bedrock on this festival. They've been a really strong partner for us, and they really sold Detroit to us. You know, they wanted us to come in and really bring something new to the city in terms of how we're celebrating the culture. And so, they've been able to help us do that with, the festival being at the Douglas site. So, but ultimately, when we decided to come to the States, the city was very important, and it really was about the storylines and the through lines, the narratives that Detroit is telling and showing. And then once we got our feet on the ground, because we visited Detroit like 3-4 times before we made a decision, like, it was clear, like the energy of the city, the people, the vibes, the swag, like it just made sense.
I see. I see. And I want to go back to you, Rohna, because this point that Akosua is talking about, the lines between Detroit and Ghana, and you've already illustrated it, of course, in your work, but you mentioned your roots, being from Detroit, growing up in Detroit. I know you went to the Michigan State University, correct?
Yes.
And then you also said you attended the Pensole Lewis College, which is where this partnership came from.
Yes.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about that because the Lewis Business College, which is what it was originally, it was a school founded to train Black women to be secretaries in Indianapolis. And then it eventually opened up a branch in Detroit and was designated HBCU in 1987, closed in 2015, and now it's recently reopened. For you, what does it mean to choose to go train there and to be a part of a legacy like that?
What it means to me is that I'm continuing the legacy. So what Miss Viola really established in her whole foundation for Lewis College of Business, I know that I'm following her footsteps. So everything that she laid out, I'm continuing it, and I'm really proud to do that. And even though the school has transitioned from being based for secretary training and everything like that, and going into fashion specifically, that is something that Dr. Dwayne Edwards, who reopened the school and everything like that, and all the rest of the staff at POC really saw a need that was needed here in Detroit. They saw that need, and which is why they came here to give Black creatives, specifically young Black creatives, the specific platform as well as the opportunity to have education in that sector of fashion.
And I'm wondering why it is you chose to go there too. It is a relatively newer operation. And it's focused on fashion, but we also know, I think CCS, the College for Creative Studies, also does to some degree fashion. I know they're mostly car design, I think. But why were you like, okay, this is where I want to go to expand in this area?
I was really interested because it's for us and by us.
Got you.
Really. So that was really my inspiration, and really knowing the story and the passion behind everything, and visiting the school for different events and whatnot, and having those conversations with the staff as well as alumni from the school, just having those different conversations, which really had me land on the decision to attend and apply for the programs, and seeing the opportunities which have come from students attending the school as well.
All right. Well, Rohna, I want to thank you for joining us on the Metro, and we're going to keep Akosua here for one more segment to get to the top of the show and talk a little bit more about the AfroFuture Fest. Rohna, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, coming up, we'll continue to discuss what more you can expect when you attend the AfroFuture Festival. Stay right there. We'll be right back on the Metro. To the Metro on 101.9 WDET, Detroit Public Radio. I'm Kerry Jr. II, and we're discussing the AfroFuture Festival, which is making its U.S. debut right here in Detroit, August 16th and 17th. My guest right now is the Director of Operations for the festival, Akosua Ayim. The festival will be also held a design contest, and we spoke with the winner as well. But Akosua, I want to talk with you a little bit more about festivals in general and some of the headliners you all also have at the festival here. So just kind of tell me, what can people expect? What should people be looking forward to kind of get them to be like, oh, this is going to be fun?
Yeah, I mean, the AfroFuture experience begins before the doors even open on the 16th. So
Mm.
from August 11th through the 17th, we have a lot of programming that's happening throughout Detroit. All of it is free to attend, and it'll all be a really good time. So, for example, on August 11th, we kick off with our restaurant week, which features about 12 or 13 restaurants throughout the city. You can go there throughout the week. We're calling it the Taste of Detroit Restaurant Week, and there are deals running all week long at restaurants like Fixin's, Ivy, Boabab Fair, and a few others.
Mm-hmm.
We're also doing a bar crawl Tuesday through Friday that is going to be in partnership with one of our sponsors. We'll be making an announcement on that in the next coming days. But during the bar crawl, you'll again be able to come hang out with us, catch the vibe, and there'll obviously be like drink specials and things going on.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a spoken word event in collaboration with Poetry Me Please, which is New York City's biggest spoken word live platform. We are having a pitch competition in partnership with Venture 313 and Black Tech Saturdays, where the first prize winner will take home $20,000 in funding for their business. There's also a second and third place prize. We'll be announcing the 10 finalists who'll be pitching, I believe, tomorrow or Friday. And there's a lot of other things going on. So there's a lot of programming, and you can see all of the programming at detroit.afrofuture.com/programming. But again, that is a week of programming before the festival doors even open, and all of that is free. We just finished a run with we Run 313 yesterday. We'll be doing that again next Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
And then we're having movie nights at Low Key every Thursday in August.
So y'all take the "this is more than a festival" very seriously.
Very seriously.
I see. Very seriously. We've got runs, we've got bar crawls, all kinds of things. Also got to make sure I mention that the Container Project, which is an artist residency program, it's hosted by the Love Building, will also be there. WDT is a partner on their upcoming podcast project. So there's a lot going on there. It's more than a festival. I do want to ask you before we wrap up about kind of the state of festivals. Over the last few years, we've kind of seen some music festivals take a hit. In the U.S. particularly, we have the Burning Man Festival. They failed to sell out for the first time in a decade last year. And then Coachella experienced a dip in sales for its 2024 festival. And this year's sales are also a little slow. We're also slow. Why are you confident that this festival will be a success in the U.S. and any of those kind of bumps in the road will cease to hinder you all?
Yeah, honestly, it's cliche, but it's because we're more than a festival. I think when you come into a community, or even when you've been in a community, the more you show up for that community and invest in it, the more people show up for you. So us coming to Detroit for the first time, it's on us to show Detroit why they should support us, right? And we do that in any market that we go to. We're not only in Ghana. We've also done activations in South Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, Tanzania, Egypt, Morocco. So we've been able to learn this lesson that you have to go into these new markets with the right partners and collaborators on the ground who can speak for you, who can let their people know that, hey, these people are legit. They're here for the right reasons. And I think also, times are hard. Like, we're not discounting that, but it's for that reason that we've been doing a lot of giveaways in the community. For all of your listeners, we're actually running a flash sale right now for the next couple of days. So if you go on the website and you use the code AF40 for weekend passes, so GA and VIP weekend passes, you will get 40% off a weekend pass. Now that code doesn't work for single day tickets or buddy passes because those have a built-in discount. But if you use AF40 on weekend passes, you will get 40% off. But I think people want you can go to a concert and you can go to a festival, and a festival should feel like a festival. So I think that's ultimately what's going to set us up for success here.
Well, I want to know, and we've got about a minute and a half left, but how you say you're entrenched in the community, you connect with the people. How did you do that?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, honestly, some of these connections came from people from Detroit who came to Ghana. They came to one of our festivals in Ghana, connected with us there. But also our co-founders and myself, we're connected. We all network. So for example, we're members of the D9. I'm a Delta. I'm a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And then our co-founders, Abdul and Kenny, are members of Phi Beta Sigma. There's always connections there. So you meet people as you grow and you go out into the world. You meet people, and if you keep those connections safe and sacred, you're able to tap back in, when the time is right. So
But I
we,
guess I want to, sorry to cut you off, Akosua,
no,
because
you're good.
I
You're
just want to
good.
make sure I get to the point of the question here too. Is like, how do you make sure that the festival is something that Detroiters want and need, that where they see themselves in it as well, I guess is my question. Did you speak to folks on the ground and say, this is what we should bring? That's kind of what I was
Yes.
getting at.
Yeah, sorry. So
You're good.
1000%. So with we call them like our community partners, people that we're in collaboration with. We just straight up ask them, what
Okay.
does Detroit want to see, what matters to Detroit, and that's what kind of led a lot of the programming that we ended up doing. And then also in terms of kind of like who's on the festival field, who's on the stages. We have a lot of local Detroit DJs that are playing. We
Yes.
obviously have, some local talent. We want to keep it authentic to ourselves. We still want it to feel like AfroFuture, which typically does really amplify and highlight African music. But we also are very cognizant of the fact that we want it to also be a storytelling moment. You need everyone's story to be able to do that. So we definitely have to highlight Detroit talent as well.
I will say I was surprised when I asked you to list what people should expect. You didn't list the big names that I kind of took a nod to in the intro. Is there any other
Yeah,
artists you want to shout out so people
I
know?
mean, yeah, so we have Ashake, we have Davido, we have Kate Trinata, Ludmilla out of Brazil, we have Jules, who's an amazing Ghanaian producer and DJ out of London, LAJ also out of London, T Grizzly, obviously, our host, LaDonna, she's been amazing. DJ BJ. There's a lot of talent. The reason
Yeah.
why I didn't go artist first is because I really want to
Yeah.
hone in on the fact that there's so much other stuff happening, and also the artists. We've plastered the artists everywhere. They're like our big selling point.
Fair.
So there are billboards going up. You're gonna see the artists, but I want people to also know what else you're gonna experience when you come on the field. So things like having Container there, that's a big one for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely love what they're doing in the art community in Detroit. They're going to be present on the field in a big way. We're building out a diaspora den for an elevated shopping experience, featuring brands like Forever Mood and the Broadest Collection, which is Snoop Dogg's daughter's collection. So there's just gonna, the music is a big part of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like you go to our Instagram, you're seeing that immediately.
You,
So
you've definitely made sure to highlight the local events that are happening and the stuff that happens even before the weekend begins. But I just want to thank you, because we're running out of time now, just for joining us and for highlighting this event and the mission behind the event.
thank you so much for having me.
Akosua Ayim is the director of operations for AfroFuture Detroit Festival. It's going to be August 16th through 17th, but as you just heard, it'll start as early as Monday. So the full lineup you can find at detroit.afrofuture.com. All right, folks, this is a final reminder. Our listener survey is out now. Go ahead, fill it out. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. It's really important. Go to wdet.org/survey. And other than that, that's going to be it for The Metro. The Metro is a production of WDET, a listener-supported service of Wayne State University. This is WDET-FM, Detroit Public Radio, your connection to news, music, and conversation. Take care.